Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, my God, it's a bald eagle. In Africa, a massive eagle has been recorded snatching lion cubs from the ground. In Australia, another hunts animals as large as kangaroos. And in North America, bald eagles have been filmed grabbing pets straight out of backyards. These birds aren't just big. They're some of the most powerful hunters in the animal kingdom. With crushing strikes and deadly talons, they grab prey that seems far too large to lift. From a rainforest giant that once slammed into a human head without warning to a forest predator that specializes in hunting monkeys. These are the deadliest eagles on Earth. Crowned eagle. The crowned eagle is not the biggest in Africa, but many people still call it the most powerful, and that is what makes it so unsettling. Bigger is impressive. More powerful is worse. This is the bird that turns the forest canopy into a killing floor. It hunts monkeys first, but does not stop there. Small antelope, reptiles, and other animals that should never be dragged out of the trees by a bird can all end up in its grip. It looks thick, hard, and built for damage with a dark brown head, a long crest tipped in white, a barred, pale chest, black upper wings, and a body that looks more like a fighter than a flyer. Adults stand about 31 to 39 in tall, spread about 5 to just under 6 feet across, and females usually weigh around 7 to 10 pounds. Its wings are shorter and broader than those of open country eagles, and that gives it the control to twist and break inside forest cover. The long hind talon is the part that stays with you. It helps break the prey's spine. What makes the crowned eagle so deadly is how it hunts. It can sit over a clearing or water hole and drop straight down without warning. When it goes after monkeys, it flies over the forest canopy, listens for a troop, then slips in close without being seen. Its flight is unusually quiet, which makes the attack even worse for anything below. Sometimes a pair hunts together. The male flies high and calls to draw attention, while the female schemes low over the treetops and grabs a confused monkey. It can reach around 100 miles per hour during a strike and still break hard in a tight space. And this bird is strong enough to kill animals up to about 44 pounds, more than 4 times its own weight. If the prey is too heavy to carry, it tears it apart on the ground and comes back for more. Monkeys dominate the story, but crowned eagles also kill small antelope, mongooses, feral cats, rats, monitor lizards, and snakes. For all that power, the crowned eagle is now listed as near threatened. Forest loss, prey loss, shooting, trapping, and nest disturbance are all pushing it the wrong way. It also replaces itself slowly. The young bird can depend on its parents for 9 to 12 months, and the pair usually raises only one chick every 2 years. That is why this eagle feels so dangerous and so fragile at the same time. Golden eagle. When most people hear the word eagle, this is the bird they see in their head. And that is exactly what makes the golden eagle so dangerous. It feels familiar, but that familiar look hides a savage killer. This bird lives across much of the northern hemisphere and succeeds almost everywhere. Mountains, plains, cliffs, islands, and cold open country. It does not depend on one trick or one place. It works almost any land that gives it room to hunt. The body is built for that job. It has a dark brown frame, glowing golden feathers on the back of the head and neck, fully feathered legs, huge yellow feet, and heavy talons. Adults usually measure about 28 to 33 in long, with a wingspan of about 6 to 7 feet and a weight of roughly 7 to 13 pounds. Females are larger, which gives the species even more punch when it goes after serious prey. It has the size to hit hard and the long wings to cover huge ground without looking slow or clumsy. What makes the golden eagle so deadly is how flexible it is. It can circle high and search, drop fast from above, chase low over the ground, or wait near a slope and strike without warning. It does not just rely on force. It solves problems. In parts of southern Europe, golden eagles have been recorded taking tortoises into the air and dropping them onto rocks to crack the shell open. The prey list is almost unfair. Rabbits, hares, ground squirrels, foxes, martens, birds, and young deer are all on the menu. In ranch country, lambs and small goats have long been part of its reputation too. On California's Channel Islands, golden eagle predation became the main cause of death for island foxes and drove a massive decline in the fox population during the 1990s. And when hunting is slow, the bird does not mind taking over a carcass. It can drive vultures and other birds of prey away from a carcass and even steal their food. Even wolf pups are not completely off limits. Globally, it is listed as least concern, but local threats still matter, especially lead poisoning from bullet fragments in carcasses and gut piles. Harpy eagle. A harpy eagle does not need open sky to be terrifying. This is the eagle that can rip a sloth or monkey out of the treetops and crush it with feet built like weapons. It is one of the largest and strongest eagles alive and the biggest eagle in the Americas. It rules the top layer of the rainforest where prey often never sees it coming. The look alone is enough to stay in your head. A gray head, black back, white underside, raised crown feathers, thick yellow legs, and talons that look too big for any bird. Adults reach about 35 to 41 in long, with a wingspan up to about 6'1" feet. Females are much heavier than males and can reach about 14 to 20 pounds. The rear talons are about 3 to 4 in long, and its face has a ring of feathers that helps it catch sound in the dim forest. This bird is built for close killing, not wide soaring. Its short, broad wings and long tail let it turn through tight branches with scary control. A harpy eagle can sit still for hours, then explode forward at up to 50 miles per hour. It can strike from above or below, and its feet can put several hundred lbs of pressure on prey, enough to crush bone. Sloths and monkeys are the main targets, but not the only ones. Harpy eagles also kill porcupines, iguanas, parrots, curassos, quadrumundis, raccoons, armadillos, agudas, and young deer. They can lift prey weighing about 17 pounds. Bigger females usually take heavier animals, while males often bring back smaller prey. In 2025, researchers reported the first scientifically documented case of a wild harpy eagle attacking an adult human in the Amazon rainforest. The victim was a 29-year-old woman near a tourist camp in French Guiana. The eagle dropped, locked its talons into the back of her head, and left scalp wounds before it let go. Attacks like that are extremely rare, which is why the case hits so hard. For all its power, the harpy eagle is listed as vulnerable. Force loss and shooting keep cutting into its range, and it breeds painfully slowly. It builds nests high in the tallest trees, often around 130 foot up. The nest can reach about 5 to 6 feet across. A pair usually raises only one chick and often does not breed again for about 2 years. Bureau's eagle. A huge black eagle sliding along a cliff face is already a bad sign. When it drops, something on those rocks usually dies. This is Varro's eagle, one of Africa's great cliff hunters. And almost everything about its life is tied to one favorite victim, the rock hyrax. It rules rocky hills, steep gorges, broken mountain slopes, and bare cliffs where the ground is hard. The drops are brutal, and prey has very little room to hide. The look is unforgettable. Its body is almost all black. Its face glows yellow, and when it banks in flight, a bright white V flashes across its back. It looks less like a bird passing through the rocks, and more like something that belongs to them. Adults are about 31 in long, with a wingspan of 6'2" feet or more, and they can weigh from about 6'2" to over 11 pounds. The legs are fully feathered, the feet are heavy, and the broad wings give it the lift and control it needs to work the air around cliffs and stone walls. What makes this eagle so deadly is how focused it is. This is not a bird trying to hunt everything everywhere. It is a specialist. It uses ridges, cliff edges, and rising air to move with very little wasted effort, then drops hard the moment a hierarch shows itself. The attack is usually short, sudden, and close. There is no long chase across open country. It is more like a fast ambush in a place where the prey already lives one slip away from disaster. That is why the bird feels so exact. It has spent generation after generation mastering one kind of kill in one kind of land. And the numbers are what make it really hit. In many study areas, rock hierarchies make up almost the whole diet. In parts of Zimbabwe, researchers found that hyraxes made up about 98% of what these eagles were eating. A pair can kill about 70 to 180 hyraxes in a year, and some estimates go above 350. The menu does widen when here numbers fall or the land gets worse. Then Varro's eagles may take hares, rabbits, guinea fowl, francolins, tortoise, small antelope, and sometimes lambs or young goats. Globally, it is still listed as least concern, but that does not mean safe. When people kill hyraxes or disturb cliff habitat, the eagle loses the prey base that made it so strong. Stellar sea eagle. Stellar sea eagle looks almost too big to be real. The first thing people notice is that giant yellow bill, then the dark body, the white shoulders, the white tail, and the thick white thighs that make it look dressed for war. This is the largest sea eagle on Earth, and one of the heaviest eagles alive. It belongs to a hard place too. The far east of Russia, where winter brings ice, rough coastlines, salmon rivers, and feeding fights where size matters. Many of these birds spend the cold season around northern Japan, especially Hokkaido. This is not a sleek forest killer or a fast grassland hunter. It is a heavy weight from one of the coldest eagle worlds on Earth. The size is a big part of why this bird feels so different. Its wings can stretch well past 6'12" feet and often reach into the 7 to 8 foot range. The biggest birds can weigh up to about 20 pounds. That is why it seems to dwarf the eagles that people already think are huge. Everything about it feels heavy. The wedge-shaped bill, the thick neck, the broad shoulders, and the black and white body that almost looks armored. It is not built to seem graceful. It is built to look solid, blunt, and hard to challenge. What makes Stellar sea eagle deadly is that it can do more than one job in a brutal place. It hunts from a perch, from the air, and even from the ice or shallow water. The clearest image is a giant eagle standing by icy water, snatching fish as they swim past. Salmon and trout are the main prize, especially when spawning season fills the rivers with fish. But it does not stop there. It also takes cod, crabs, shellfish, squid, ducks, gulls, and small animals. And it will feed on carrion, too. It is also a thief. It steals food from other birds when that is easier than making a kill itself. That mix of hunting, scavenging, and stealing is exactly why it survives in places where food appears suddenly and doesn't last long. When salmon runs hit, these eagles feed in the same chaotic places as brown bears and other scavengers. And sheer size gives them a real edge in those crowded battles. That size matters in every fight. At winter feeding sites in Russia and Japan, a bird this huge can tilt the whole contest in its favor. Even when one wandered across North America a few years ago, people were stunned because there is nothing subtle about a raptor this large. And yet, this giant is still listed as vulnerable. The world population is only around 5,000 birds and slowly falling. Logging near nesting areas, habitat change, pressure on fish stocks, and lead poisoning from scavenged remains all keep squeezing the species. Martial eagle. A martial eagle can turn the whole African sky into a death trap. This is the eagle that has been recorded hunting lion cubs in the Masai Mara. It is often described as Africa's largest eagle. But what makes it truly frightening is not just size. It hunts out in the open over grassland, scrub, and scattered trees where everything below can be seen and still nothing is safe. It has a dark head and chest, a white belly covered in black spots, hard yellow eyes, huge feet, and long bare legs that make it look built for damage. Adults can reach about 37 in long with a wingspan that can go well past 6 feet. Females are the real heavy hitters and can weigh more than 10 pounds, while males are often around 7 pounds. Its talons are not just sharp, they hit like hooked blades aimed at the weakest part of the body. What makes the martial eagle so deadly is the way it kills. It can soar high over the land or wait from a perch, then lock onto a target and drop with brutal force. Researchers say it often drives its talons into the spine at the back of the skull. A strike meant to shut prey down fast. This is not a bird living on tiny animals. It goes after prey that can fight back hard. Hares, gammards, bustards, hyraxes, reptiles, monkeys, jackals, and young antelope are all on the menu. Young impalas and gazelles are very real targets. In some places, it has taken prey far above its own weight, which is why it feels less like a large bird and more like a flying executioner. It is calm in the air, then violent the second it commits. The clearest proof came from Kenya. A study on the Greater Mara region reported 7 records of martial eagles preying on or trying to prey on lion cubs. Those records led to the deaths of 9 cubs. In the most shocking case, one adult eagle kept tracking the same pride and killed 3 cubs over about 3 weeks. And for all that power, the martial eagle is now listed as endangered. Its numbers have dropped fast because of persecution, poisoning, shrinking habitat, loss of prey, and deadly contact with power lines and pylons. White-bellied sea eagle. The white-bellied sea eagle looks almost too clean and calm to belong on a list like this. It has a white head, a white chest, and broad gray wings that make it look noble in the air. Then you find out what it eats. This bird rules coasts, rivers, estuaries, and large inland waters from India and Sri Lanka through Southeast Asia to New Guinea and Australia. It is not just a fish eater drifting over pretty water. It is a top hunter built to own the water's edge. When it glides low over a bright shoreline and suddenly drops, the whole scene changes. It is beautiful, but it is built for force. Males usually weigh about 512 to 8 pounds, while females are heavier at roughly 6 to just over 9 pounds. Its wingspan can reach about 612 feet, and some birds stretch a little farther. It has long, broad wings, a thick body, a heavy hooked bill, and hard talons built to grab and crush. In flight, the white head and underparts stand out against the darker upper wings, and the black flight feathers below give it an even sharper look. It is much too large and too well-armed to be dismissed as just a pretty coastal bird. What makes this eagle deadly is how many parts of the shoreline it can use. It patrols from the air or from a high perch with a clear view of open water, mud flats, and banks. It can snatch prey right off the surface, strike along the shoreline, or hit animals exposed in shallow water. It also scavenges, and it will steal food from other birds if that saves time and effort. Fish come first, but the prey list keeps getting worse. Turtles, sea snakes, other snakes, water birds, mammals, and carry. It has even been recorded attacking prey up to the size of a swan. Flying foxes are on the menu too. That range is what makes it so dangerous. It hunts across air, water, shoreline, and mudflat without feeling boxed into one lane. Its nests make the bird feel even more dominant. White-bellied sea eagles return to the same nest year after year, building it up until it becomes huge. Some nests can reach about 8 feet wide and more than 13 feet deep. During breeding season, pairs put on wild displays in the sky. They soar, call loop, drop fish from height, and dive to catch them in midair. It is one more reminder that this bird is not just strong. It is built to control the whole space around the water. It remains widespread and is listed globally as least concern, but its population is declining. Philippine eagle. The Philippine eagle looks like a bird made to rule a forest. It is the national bird of the Philippines, and it feels less like a normal eagle and more like the king of a dark jungle. What makes it so unforgettable is not just how rare it is. It is the fact that one of the biggest eagles on Earth lives in a thick tropical forest where branches, shadows, and tight spaces should slow a bird that size down. Instead, it turns that tangled forest into its hunting ground. This is one of the rarest eagles alive and one of the deadliest hunters anywhere in its world. Everything about its body looks built for close, violent hunting. It has a shaggy crest, a dark face, a pale chest, a huge hook bill, thick legs, and a long tail that helps it swing through trees. It stands about 3 feet tall. Its wings can stretch to about 612 feet, and large females can weigh close to 18 pounds. It is not shaped like a big sea eagle that glides over open water. It is a giant forest hunter. On a perch, it looks almost noble, but every part of it is made for short explosive attacks and heavy cover. It lives in mountain rainforest on Luzon, Samar, Leh, and Mindanao, with most of the remaining birds on Mindanao. It often hunts alone and guards a huge area, but pairs can work together too. One bird can distract prey while the other closes in from another angle. That matters because hunting in a thick forest is dangerous, even for an eagle this big. A bad strike, a fall, or a wound from prey can become a serious problem in the wild. People once called it the monkey-eating eagle, but that name is too small for what this bird really is. It kills flying lemurs, monkeys, palm civets, large birds, and other forest animals. It can also take snakes, chickens, cats, and small dogs near the forest edge. That wide prey list is what makes it so dangerous. It is not tied to one victim. It can dominate almost anything in its part of the forest. That makes its low numbers hit even harder. Only about 400 breeding pairs are thought to remain, and some estimates place the number of mature wild birds at under 500. A single pair may need many thousands of acres of forest to survive. It is now listed as critically endangered due to forest loss, hunting, trapping, declining prey, mining, pollution, and increasing conflict with people. It also breeds very slowly, laying one egg every 2 years, and the young can depend on the parents for a long time. Papuan eagle. Most people have never even heard of the Papuan eagle, and that is part of what makes it so scary. This is one of New Guinea's top forest killers, living in an island world already packed with strange and extreme animals. What makes it stand out is not just that it is rare. It is that this eagle has been described as a bird that hunts on the ground as well as in the trees. It moves through deep rainforest like a secret, slipping through shadows and leaving very little behind except whatever it killed. It lives mainly in mature rainforest across New Guinea and is classed as vulnerable because its small population is slowly falling. The Papuan eagle looks strange for such a serious predator. Adults are about 30 to 35 and long with a short broad wingspan of about 4 to just over 5 feet, but then you notice the long tail and the very long bare legs, and the whole bird starts to look less like a soaring giant and more like something built to move through tight jungles. It has a large head, a strong dark bill, big eyes, a short crest, and a face that can look almost owl-like. Its body is not thick and bulky like a harpy eagle. It looks stretched, alert, and oddly shaped for quick turns in dense forest. Even standing still, it looks like a predator built to slip, stop, and hit in heavy cover. That body shape makes sense once you see how it hunts. The Papuan eagle usually does not circle high in the sky. It hides on quiet perches and glides from one perch to another inside the forest. It listens for movement in the undergrowth, then bobs and tilts its head as if fixing the exact spot before dropping down. It can even spend time on the ground and run after prey there, which is a wild thing to picture from an eagle this large. Its main prey includes falling and other possum-like marsupials, but it does far more than that. It also takes forest waves, pigeons, hornbills, cockatoos, megapods, snakes, and monitor lizards. A Matchie's tree kangaroo weighing about 13 pounds has been recorded as prey, and there are also reports of it taking small dogs and young pigs. What really gives this bird its power is how much we still do not know about it. Only one active nest has even been examined, and that tells you how hidden this eagle still is. It nests high in giant forest trees, often around or above 100 feet off the ground, deep inside intact forest, and the nest itself can grow huge. The species is threatened by forest loss, logging roads, cutting into remote habitat, and hunting, including killing for feathers used in ceremonies. Mountain hawk eagle. A mountain hawk eagle can sit so still in a forest that it almost disappears, then hit with a level of force that feels way too big for its body. That is what makes this bird so dangerous. It is not as famous as a golden eagle or a harpy eagle, so people tend to underestimate it. That is a mistake. This hawk eagle has been recorded taking piglets, newborn deer, and heavy birds that sound more like prey for a much larger predator. It does not win with giant size or wild looks. It wins with speed, power, and the nerve to go after animals that can fight back. It has a sharp crest, yellow eyes, barred underparts, feathered legs, and a thick muscular build. Adults are about 27 to 36 and long with a wingspan of roughly 412 to 512 feet. Its wings are shorter than those of open country eagles, but they still carry plenty of power, and a long tail helps it cut through wooded slopes with control. This is not a bird built to drift in the sky for show. It feels like a forest fighter. The mountain hawk eagle hunts along forest edges, valleys, and mountain woodlands, either from a perch or while flying. Then it strikes fast at prey on the ground or in trees. What makes it stand out is that it is willing to attack animals around its own size or even larger. In Taiwan, one study during the breeding season found that prey brought to nests was about 76% mammals, 16% birds, and 8% reptiles. That already tells you what kind of bird this is. Mammals come first, then birds, then reptiles. And the larger prey records are where it really starts to feel brutal. In Taiwan, it has taken young Formosan Serero. In Japan, it has been recorded taking wild boar piglets and newborn sika deer. It has also attacked large birds including Indian peafowl, ducks, geese, and heron. Even infant and young macaques have been recorded. And yet, this bird is more vulnerable than it looks. The mountain hawk eagle is near threatened with an estimated 1,200 to 6,700 mature birds left and still declining, mainly because of habitat loss. In Japan and parts of Taiwan, human pressure is a growing problem, and lead exposure from ammunition has also been documented in Japan. Thank you for joining us. Feel free to click on one of the cards on the screen to watch another video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.